All righty, welcome to a Dude and a Dog live, number 3 on the schedule. Really number 4 because we added a 0, didn't we? So number 4, I guess you could say, even though it says number 3. Whatever. So for those of you who are just joining us in these lives, it's Sophie and I, my hiking pup here. We are doing these lives as we are taking a summer trip. So we're hitting multiple different states throughout the U.S. And currently, right this moment, we're in Tennessee, Virginia. We're right on the border. So it depends on what moment of where we're at that particular time. Actually, right this second, we're in Virginia. Because as you can see, I am not at my campsite again because there is no signal at our campsite at all. Now, just right outside of our campsite, we have Damascus. And Damascus got a pretty good connection out there. So thank you, Damascus, for having a good connection for us. So more details about our summer trip here. Good morning. I was getting ready to say good morning. Wow, I am totally off. Good evening, Adventure America. Thanks for joining us. Sophie, Adventure America says, hey, Sophie, Adventure America says, good evening. Where is she? There she is. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I had to make sure she was polite. So we have 4 more scheduled. We have June 9th, the 12th, the 14th, and the 17th. Now notice that's quite a big of a leap in between days. That's because our next stop is North Carolina, and we're not actually camping in North Carolina. So I felt it was kind of a cheat. We may hike. We probably won't. We may not. It just depends. I'm visiting a relative there. We'll see how that goes. Now, we also are doing shorts, so keep an eye out for those. I'm trying to pump out about 2 shorts per day, approximately. Once again, partially depends on the technology. And then also, if you haven't subscribed to our Facebook group, make sure you do that. Motley says, hey, Motley says wolf. Okay. Did I pronounce that right? Did I pronounce it right, Motley? Is it wolf or is it woof? Okay, let me know, and I'll let Sophie know. Because she kind of looked at me weird when I said it. I don't think I said it right. Also, if you haven't, make sure to subscribe in our or like whatever it is on our Facebook group, A Dude and a Dog Hiking. We have even more regular updates there, along with photos and stuff like that. Sounds good to me? Good. Okay, well. Thanks, Adventure America. All right, so as I was saying, we are staying in the Cherokee National Forest, specifically right now at the Backbone Rock Recreation Area. So it's right at the border of Tennessee and Virginia. I think overall, except for our camping, we spent a lot more time in Virginia the past couple of days rather than Tennessee. But it's been beautiful out here. So much green, so many ferns. I love moss. There's been moss everywhere. The rocks are beautiful. So yesterday we were really worried about the weather because every place we go, it says it's going to rain, it's going to rain, it's going to rain every day. And that was still also true for this location here. It said that it was going to rain every single day. And yesterday morning, we had a little bit of rain. We had some rain overnight, had a little bit of rain in the morning. It was sprinkling. I was like, you know what? I'll find a relatively safe hike. They're definitely both beautiful in Metro America. I agree with that. Because we did a lot of driving through Tennessee before to get here in the first place. So, we wanted a relatively safe hike. So we found one that seemed mostly flat and everything. And that was the Laurel Creek Trail. It's a 2.5. Well, it's less than 2.5 miles, like 1.6 or something, or 1.2 or something like that. That's what it is, or something like that. And so it comes out to 2.5 miles there and back. Beautiful hike. It was just sprinkling on us, so no big deal. We were enjoying it. Lots of pictures we got, lots of video that'll be coming out and everything. So much green. The only thing that wasn't great about it is, so you're on the trail, and over to your right as you're going up the trail, you see this nice, awesome creek there. And it's a bunch of different waterfalls as you go along, small waterfalls, but still waterfalls nonetheless. And then on the other side of that is a road. and a bunch of cars blasting by and making noises and everything. So that part kind of sucked, but it was okay. Well, about halfway through going up the trail, the rain started to come down really hard. And for about 10 minutes, hey, Lisa, that's my Aunt Lisa. Hi, thanks for joining us. So for about 10 minutes, the rain started pouring down on us at this point. Drenched us pretty well. We did have a poncho we tossed over, mostly protected our pack. I wouldn't say our clothes. Our clothes were already pretty well soaked at that point. We finished up that hike. On the way back to the car, the second part of the hike, the rain pretty much stopped. You just had the little bit of droplets coming down from the trees. Otherwise, it was pretty good at that point. But we were pretty drenched. By the time we got to the car, as I said, it stopped raining. We were driving back to our campsite. Sun started coming out. Okay, this is looking good. Got back to the tent, changed. You know what? Let's go for the hike that we wanted to do in the first place. The reason that we actually came here. And that was the Backbone Rock Trail. So this one was, it said 2.8. Did that come out right when it did it? 2.8? Yeah, it came out correct. It said 2.8 that it was going to be there, but of course it was there and back again. It starts at that really cool feature of the Backbone Rock. So you kind of get the best part right at the beginning, front loaded. But then you have a pretty cool trail that has a lot of elevation. I think put together between the Laurel Creek Trail and the Backbone Rock, we did over 1,700 feet worth of elevation yesterday. So that was the most Sophie and I have ever done in a single day. I think it was just over 8 miles worth of hiking, 1,700 feet worth of elevation. We were pretty tired. Because 8 miles isn't necessarily a problem for us, but the elevation we're not used to that much in a single day. We've done like 1,000 before, and we've kicked it up a few times during this particular adventure series of adventures. But 1,700, that's the highest that we've ever gone at this point. So it was an accomplishment for Sophie and I, but we definitely were really tired after that. So today we get to, and it says again, oh, it's going to be raining all day. So we're going to be just trapped in our tent. You know what? Blue sky. Perfect blue sky out. On the other hand, there was one I really wanted to go to. On the other hand, it said 1,600 feet worth of elevation gain and 6 miles worth of hiking. And I was like, I don't think we're up for it today, Sophie. I'd love to go to it. It's this place called the Channels, and you have to go the entire distance in order to actually get the payoff on this one. And so I was like, you know what, Sophie, let's do it a little bit differently today. So instead, what we did is we popped up on All Trails, and we started looking for anything that gave basically almost an instant payoff. So we found a couple of waterfalls that were less than a half a mile off the trail. The first one was Logan Creek Falls. That was maybe a quarter mile down the trail. Beautiful falls. Huge, actually. Some of the biggest falls that I've gotten to see so far. I know that isn't saying much. Being from Texas, we don't really have that big of falls. But it was the biggest I've seen on this trip so far. So it was absolutely gorgeous, and we loved it. We spent probably 30, 45 minutes just hanging out there because the falls were so beautiful. Was a little slippery going down to get closer to the falls. So if you go check it out, be careful of that. The second one, we had to drive a little bit. But, so the drive, though, to the next one, we drove, I think it was Route 80, I think it's called, or something like that, or Highway 80. Oh, my gosh, that drive was so much fun. So you're going up the mountain, and you have a bunch of switchbacks going up it. And then you go down the mountain, a bunch of switchbacks. It was so much fun. All these trees surrounding you, just gorgeous and just fun driving. Really narrow roads in particular in some parts, so you definitely had to watch out when you're coming around a corner. There's nobody else on the other side, but it was so fun driving that road. But that led us to Tank Hollow, the Tank Hollow Falls. This is in the Cleveland Barrens natural area of Virginia. And it was awkward trying to find it there. we ended up figuring out that you had to. So first of all, the grade just getting up the road to where the natural area was like this. So you really couldn't see over the hood of my car going in there. Then there was another area that went down about equally as much. And we weren't sure if that was a trail or a road at first. We had read something on All Trails that seemed to indicate there's supposed to be a parking area nearby. And we saw no parking spot. So like, okay, that must be a road, not a trail. Cross our fingers. We started going down it. Fortunately, it was a road. So that was really good. So we went down that road, found the parking spot that they had actually set up. And the falls, literally, you get out of the parking spot, you can see the falls. Obviously, we walked up to it, kind of got in the falls a little bit. Really nice falls. Wasn't quite as big as the Logan Creek Falls, but it was still very, very pretty. We spent probably a good 15, 20 minutes there and everything before we moved on. Then we popped up on All Trails. We're trying to find another trail that would be equal, real quick and easy. And we really weren't finding anything. And so that kind of sucked. Because we weren't really invested in even going 2 miles at the moment. But it was still pretty early at this time. We started making our way back towards where our campsite was. And in doing so, we had to go through, I don't think I'm going to pronounce this right. I practiced it right before here, and I'm pretty sure I had it down, and I don't think I'm going to get it right now. Abingdon? I'm not pronouncing that right at all. In Virginia, it's a town. And we stumbled upon there the Sinking Spring Cemetery, which is a really old cemetery. They say that they have the earliest grave there is from 1776. We searched around. We didn't see a 1776 marker, but so many of the markers you can't read anything on. So there very well could have been a 1776 marker in there. Many different graves, some War of 1812 veterans, Civil War veterans. They say that there's supposed to be 2 Virginia governors that are buried in there. So yeah, quite a bit. Lisa says your mom and my cousin Dave Morris lives there. Oh, really? I didn't know. I didn't know I had relatives in there. Cool. And I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, right? I'm pretty sure I had it right before I started the live here. But then I started and it just slipped from my head. So yeah, it was a really, really cool cemetery. We wandered around there for, I don't know, maybe an hour at least. But it was really, really cool. It was very interesting. Kind of imagining up what, some of the things might be there and everything. So after that, we returned back to the campground for a rest. We did make one little other stop at the city park in Damascus, which is kind of cute and everything, but it was just a brief stop. Then we should return to our campground, and we're like, okay, we're going to take a break and rest. But at this point, it's up to 87, which 87 for a Texan isn't necessarily usually that big of a deal. But in my tent, it was even warmer because the tent's in the sun. I really wanted to kind of take a nap, but it didn't look like that was going to happen very well. And guess what rolls in? A little bit of rain. Just enough to cool it down by 10, 11 degrees. And it was nice. It stayed 76 for the rest of the day here. So that was a perfect end to the day. Rained a little bit. Went into town and waited for my girlfriend to call me. We had a conversation. Came on back. Had dinner, made dinner in 75, 76 degree weather. So it was nice. Really good ending. So I'm hoping that this weather continues to be nice to me, despite the weather forecasters trying to say it's going to do nothing but storm on me everywhere I go. Hasn't been happening, though. Also praying that tomorrow morning, it says 20% all the way through the morning. Hoping that it doesn't stay, that none of that rain does hit me, so that way I can pack up in the dry too. So, Venture America. I don't know if I've told you, but your name is Troy. Troy. Hey, yeah, I think you did. I'm also extremely bad with names, Troy. So I'm a teacher, but and I usually I teach you in a self-contained classroom for special education usually, or I mean. it's different from year to year. But when I do, I only have like 10, 12 students, and it still takes me a while to get all the names down. So I apologize if I have a hard time keeping that name down. But Troy, I'll try to remember it. Yeah, so I hope the weather's going to be good too. All right. With that, hey, we got up to 3 people that joined today. Hey, we're a little bit more every single time, so that's good. We'll try the next one, as I said, on June 9th. I don't have a ton of hope that I'll have a great connection there, but maybe I'll be able to drive out somewhere to get a connection, just like with the past couple of locations. But the GPS for that location says the directions for that location say don't try to use GPS or you won't make it. Use a map. So that kind of makes me wonder really what the connection's even going to be out there at all, or even anywhere in the area. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you all updated on the, as I said, on the Facebook group. So if you haven't joined that, please feel free to join that. A Dude and a Dog hiking on there. And otherwise, I'll see you June 9th, hopefully. Crossing fingers. Thanks for joining us, guys. Y'all have a good evening.